Thank you. Now, let me move on to some particular questions. Many of these are really big questions about the nature of what we're doing in the city. So this is a question from Dashko. Bearing in mind climate change is accelerating and at least partly irreversible, is it not risky to concentrate even more people and assets on an already hazardous volcanic isthmus and thus make the city even more dependent on complex, centralized and vulnerable infrastructure? Would it not be safer to decentralize the infrastructure and disperse population and pursue a more polycentric spatial structure at a regional level? Richard, what's your sense about what's your response to that question?
Well, essentially, we've already done that, and it hasn't worked very well. We have a very, very spread out city, and it's full of people having to drive to the hospital, to the university, to the shops, to their grandparents' house across the city, to the interesting things in the city centre, etc. The infrastructure costs so much because it's spread so far apart. So I guess there's an argument with, there's risk no matter what we do. We had extreme flooding during lockdown last year in northwestern Kumeu, where there isn't a lot of intensification. And then 3 weeks ago, we had 120 mils of water in 1 hour on the North Shore. And we had our streets, residents, libraries, everything flooded. And, so that's quite a depressing view. But I guess no matter where you put the infrastructure, it needs to be resilient. And right now, we cannot build infrastructure for the types of weather we are having. So I guess my opinion, probably not based on evidence, is that to try and continually spread out the city and think people stay in their local areas it just doesn't happen. So everyone will travel to the university somewhere, or to the football game somewhere, or to see their parents across the city, or kids across the city. So I think the more we have people connected in urban areas, the current urban areas, the more infrastructure we can build quicker for the people who live there, but also the less people need to travel vast distances. Much like almost every major city internationally in the world is how it's set up. So Shamaville might have some more data behind what I just talked about, but that's kind of my view, that I think it's a nice idea, but I don't think it actually works.
Well, I guess the only thing I might add is Auckland is polycentric in the sense that we do have multiple city centres already, and we have, when we talk about Auckland getting density, it's not necessarily only in the isthmus, only around the CBD. In fact, quite a lot of density that we want is around transport corridors and transport nodes. So I think that is where we're heading anyway, given the footprint that we have, which is a fairly widespread footprint now. The task for us is to make sure that we get some density around the corridors and the nodes that are there. So I think Dushko is quite well known for his views on this stuff, so we won't go too detailed into it.